So, welcome you back for the management and entrepreneurship classes. In this particular video, we will discuss about the planning. That is the second part of the module 1. That is with respect to the planning, that is introduction to the planning and the different types of planning and what is the importance of planning, how the planning has to be taken up. All these things as we will discuss in this particular video. So let us see the introduction of the planning. Planning is the process of selecting the mission and objectives. That means without a mission or without an objective, there will be no planning at all. Hence, mission and objective to achieve is very important, which requires decision making, that is choosing the course of action from the different alternatives. Hence, the planning is an essential part of the mission and the objective to achieve. Planning is nothing but thinking before the action takes place. It helps to keep a peep into the future and decide in advance the way to deal with the situations which we are going to encounter in the future. That means the future will be planned today. Okay, it is a mental attitude, thinking before action takes place. The thinking happens in the topmost portion of our body with respect to the time, with respect to the situation, with respect to the peoples, with respect to the environment in which we are working. So the decision will be taken or the planning will be taken. So once you do the planning by considering all these factors, we will be doing it effectively. So this is what is the peeping the future, the sketch which you can see now, or the sketch which you are, the person is with the binoculars, he is peeping the future and he is thinking about how the future can be planned, how the future can be, decision can be taken in the future is being thought by the planning. Why you have to do the planning? What is the necessity of doing the planning? So why planning is from the position where you are now to the position where you have to achieve. You have to have a proper planning. The planning is the one which makes you to go from one end to the other end. That means from now to where will be decided by how. Okay, this is a continuous process. This is a continuous process, that is from now to where, how you have to achieve that is a planning that we do it. It is a continuous process. There is no from the day in and day out 24/7. You need to have a planning or replanning or strategize. The planning is very much essential. So here managing an organization is very important. Hence, how do we do this planning, or how the planning is important in managing an organization? Any organization will have an input, will have a process, and will have an output. So what is the role of planning in the input, in the process, and in the output is what we will be discussing here. In the input, the planning has to be done with respect to the environment in which you are working. That is the peoples with whom you are working, the peoples with what qualification that you are working, peoples with what skills you are working are the inputs. Financial resources, once again it is an input, with a very less finance, with a more finance, with an well supported by the financial backup. All these things will be an input for you to the organization. Physical resources, what is the material that you have, the quality of the material that you have, the quantity of the material that you have, or the the availability of the material at the required time is all the physical resources which are the input to the organization. The information resource, that is either the technical information to the resource or the different various information that is required for an organization, will be the inputs to the organization. And when it comes to the process, you have a planning and decision makings decision making will be in the first process, and from the planning you will go to the organizing. From the organizing you will come to the leading, and from the leading you will be going to the controlling, and again back to the planning. So this is a rotational basis where it will be going on continuously from the planning to organizing to leading to controlling to again planning. So from the input we will go to the process, and once the process is being done, the output is the attained goal. What is the goal which is attained? How effectively you have attained the goal, how efficiently you have attained the goal is the important factors. That is the output that you have. So managing an organization, you need to have a planning with respect to the inputs, with respect to all these factors. You need to plan with respect to the process. You need to plan with respect to the output. So depending on the output, we will be planning all the process and the input of an organization. Let us know the nature of planning. The nature, it is the beginning of the process of the management. Since in any management we say it is the beginning, the planning is the first step. It is the first step before we go to the action. If the planning is not perfect, everything will become the chaos. Then everything will collapse in the organization. Hence, the planning is a very important step. It is an intelligence process, that is the managers need to think before acting. Hence, it is an mind game that you have to play there. Okay, it is a decision making is an integral part of the planning. Once you take a decision, or once you say yes, this is what I need, then immediately you have a decision making comes into the picture. That is the choosing from the different alternatives that you have, or what is the resource that you have, how to allocate the resources, how to procure the resources, how to schedule the resources. All these things will come into the picture. Recruitment and promotion is also a decision making process that you have in the planning. Make or buy the product is also a decision that you have to take. In all these things you have to do it at the beginning of the process. Planning is a continuous process. It has a principles of navigational change must be followed. That means the principles of continuous process, where it will be keeping on changing from one phase to the other phase as the time goes on. The planning should keep on adding up, or planning should keep on reviewing the planning, and if there is any deviations, you should have a replanning or re-strategize the planning is very, very important that you have. Nature of planning, continuation of the nature of planning, it should be flexible. The planning should not be rigid with respect to the situation, with respect to the technology, with respect to the product mixture, with respect to the market, with respect to the organization structure. It should keep on changing. It should be flexible enough that we can accommodate to any of these situations that exist in the organization. The flexibility must be within the boundary. Flexibility should not be too vast such that it cannot be under control. Hence, the flexibility whatever you give should be within a boundary or within a framework. That is, the planning selects the best alternative based on the certain assumptions, which is well versed to the organization, to the situation, with respect to their culture. Based on all these things, it will be the best alternatives will be selected. It is all pervasive function that is important at all levels of organization. That means the planning is very important from all the levels of the organization, at every level, from the worker level to the CEO level. The planning is very much essential. It is a goal oriented. Yes, definitely the plans will be a goal oriented, because the plan will have a mission or objective. That mission or objective has to be accomplished. Hence, the planning will provide you the step by step procedure of achieving the mission of an organization. Importance of planning: minimizes the risk and uncertainties. Yes, definitely, if you have a proper planning, the risk will be very minimum, and uncertainties you can able to cope up with, or you can able to tackle the uncertainties that is going to happen in the situation at the right time. That is during the COVID situation, the planning is not at all there, because then nobody has thought the COVID will become so vast and it will panic. It will give the so much of panic to the peoples, and so much of the market will see the recession. So, but if you have a planning, if you have seen that COVID can widespread like this, you could have able to minimize the risk and the death that has happened in the entire world. Hence, the planning helps the manager to cope up with the changes which is happening in the market. Leads to success. Yes, definitely, if you have a planning, definitely you can reach the success without any doubt. Okay, it outperforms an organization without plan. That is, if you have a two organization, one with a well planned and one without a planning, definitely the organization which is having a well planned can perform well or perform better than the organization without planning. Okay. Focuses attention on the organization goals. That is, obtains a better coordination among the workers. If you have a proper planning, you can able to have a good communication. If you can able to have a good communication, definitely there will be a good coordination from the workers. Hence, planning is very much essential, and it is very, very important. The facilities control. Yes, definitely you can able to control the facilities which is available. That means the goals, you can able to set a benchmark, you can able to standardize the goal, so that everybody will be knowing it, what has to be done and how it has to be achieved, and what is the process in which they can achieve the objective will be known to them. Hence, the control will be very easy for them. Minimizes the cost of performance. That is, if you have a proper planning, you can able to reduce the cost. That is, economy can be improved or economy can be saved, so that you can able to maximize the profit for the organization. Improves the competitive strength, definitely, because planning can able to give the different sectors how they have to achieve it, so that you can able to the competitive strength can be increased, so that they can able to achieve, they know the path in which they have to travel. Because of that, they can able to travel much faster and much confident, so that they can able to achieve the organization. Increases the organizational effectiveness. That means the efficiency of the organization will increase, because everybody in the organization knows what is the planning and how to achieve that plan is known to them. Hence, it will be easy for them to go in that particular path and achieve the organization goal. With this, we are concluding the planning in the organization, which plays an important role in the organization. Thank you.